Pearl is the surprise second installment in Ti West's X trilogy and acts as an origin story to the antagonists, but primarily focuses on Mia Goth's character, Pearl. Shocking, I know. Set 61 years before the events of X, Pearl dreams of Hollywood stardom, but feels trapped at home with her stern mother and paralysed father. Her mother is deeply paranoid about the 1918 influenza pandemic, which was a clever way to reflect the one they filmed through and why the streets are kind of empty. Mia Goth as Pearl is excellently deranged here. She's able to find the sweetness in Pearl's aspirations, but then can turn sinister in an instant. Like the alligator in the lake, she's patient and vicious. The first installment directly asks the audience to see the similarities between Pearl and Maxine, as both are played by Mia Goth. But the prequel highlights this further by showing how similar Pearl and Maxine's ambitions were. Seeing that she grew old in the home she went to such lengths to leave really adds to the tragedy of the character. Not to diminish Pearl's agency or anything, her actions are her own. She is a murderer. Hot take, Pearl's a murderer. But this prequel adds an additional layer to the character. The end credit shot that holds on Goth's strained smile feels like it shouldn't work, but the longer it goes on, the more unsettling it becomes. While Pearl matches the gore found in A24's previous releases, it has a heightened, more campy tone. Pearl's bright and saturated aesthetic is appropriate here as it matches her force-positive mindset. The film's Technicolor look and setting is very inspired by The Wizard of Oz. After the opening credits, we enter Pearl's Texas by pushing through the barn doors, echoing Dorothy entering Oz. Pearl mirrors Dorothy, dreaming of a better, more exciting life for herself, and even has her own Toto with Theda the alligator. But her fate is like a twisted take on The Wizard of Oz's famous line,
"There's no place like home. There's no place like home."
And there are also parallels to be drawn with the rest of the cast. The obvious one being Pearl's mother, who fills the Wicked Witch role in her eyes, with even her death involving water. The projectionist is like the wizard who can supposedly grant Pearl's wishes. And just like the Tin Man, her father can't move. And there's a scarecrow. See, it's the exact same movie. Referencing a beloved family classic, both visually and textually, contrasts nicely with the film's dark story. Murder never looks so good. Although, giving the film a Technicolor look, while gorgeous, is a little anachronistic considering that the film is set in 1918, and Technicolor wouldn't be widely used until the 1930s. It's a bit of a myth that Wizard of Oz was the first colour film, as colour had been a tool almost since the beginning of cinema. You could hand paint the frames, as seen here in A Trip to the Moon by Georges Méliès, which would be very time consuming, needing factories of people to complete a print. Another option would be to use tints, which would add block colours to the full image to denote certain moods. Or there was Kinemacolor, a two-tone colour process combining a red and cyan filter, which creates a simple colour pass. This look was recreated by Martin Scorsese and his team for the first half of The Aviator, to reflect the years this section takes place in, and it would have been cool to see a similar effect in Pearl. Although, the movies Pearl worships have the hand-cranked, shaky quality that early black and white film cameras had, so she wouldn't have the visual reference for bright Technicolor. She even has a dream sequence in black and white. But I understand that a two-tone colour grade or shaky black and white isn't the most accessible for modern audiences, and I totally prefer artistic decisions being prioritised over historical accuracy. This isn't meant to be a major criticism or anything, like, Pearl is incredibly entertaining, the gore is really good, Mia Goth is excellent. It's just something I was thinking about. Seeing how Pearl's story started and ended, and how alike she is with Maxine, implies that maybe Maxine will follow a similar path. But here's hoping she breaks the cycle in the final film in the trilogy.
There's no place like... I want to be a witch!